What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Flipside. Jason will be up in just a minute. They are finishing up the song. So Merry Christmas. Thanks for being with us. And I'm going to jump right in. We got a couple good questions here. The first one is, I don't know if this is proper or not, a proper question, which all questions are proper questions. Please bring them all. The harder, the more intense, the better. But here it goes. What can someone who has been blessed with healthy babies say to someone who is experiencing infertility without sounding insensitive or out of touch? Woo! Dude, you guys brought it.
Come on.
So great. So great.
So you're in the
So it's a great question. And really the like bigger theme for this question is, how do people who have received a blessing of some way interact with those who are lacking that blessing? It could be children, it could be something material, some sort of financial blessing. So a couple thoughts for you. The first is, people who are wrestling with infertility or who are struggling in some way, they know. So you're not going to tell them something they don't know. You're not going to surprise them. So that's the first thing. Because sometimes we think, I don't want to like bring up some difficult situation. That's not how it works. People know. So that's the first thing. And then the second is, we just need to name our realities. So they are having a difficult reality. You have some blessing reality. It's okay to name that, but acknowledge like that you have something and that you're grateful for it. Yeah. Acknowledging that will allow you to be more empathetic. So to say to someone, hey, man, I just want to tell you, I'm really praying for you as you guys walk through this journey with infertility. I would imagine that's really difficult. And as I know we've got all these kids, and I just want to tell you that we with you and we love you, and I can imagine that could be hard for you, but we're praying for you. People can tell if you're being caring and empathetic. So Don't pretend like you haven't been blessed, and don't worry if they don't know. Same thing, with wealth, right? If you've been blessed financially, that's awesome. I pray that for you. If I was in charge of everything, everyone would be blessed financially. That's why I'm not in charge of the money at our church.
You should pray that for me.
I would just give it all. I do. And I pray for all of us. And so if you've been blessed and you just recognize you're with someone who hasn't, just be grateful. Yeah, I'm just really thankful that we're able to do this trip. I know it's a huge blessing. God's really been extra gracious in this way. Just name it. So that would be my thought with that question. Boom. Take it from here.
So good. All right.
Oh, magnify the Lord.
Oh, magnify the Lord. Question 2, and I love this question. Eric, if I don't agree with the political ideology of current leaders, am I wrong to pray for change of leadership?
Definitely not. It's never wrong to pray for a change of leadership. I mean, half the country every few years is praying for a change of leadership, right? I mean, right. And half the Christians are praying for a change of leadership because Christians have very diverse political opinions. So, but more importantly than praying for a change of leadership, I would say 2 things. One, pray for whoever's currently governing. It's so important, right? 1 Timothy 2, pray for your leaders. Pray for those in governing authority over you. And so pray for the president, pray for the vice president, pray for governors and senators and Congress people. Pray for our leaders. Regardless of who they are, we should be praying for our leaders. And then the other thing I would say related to this question is, as Christians, we should pray, we should vote, and we should put our hope in Jesus, because it is too easy. This gets to just what I was talking about earlier. Man, political power, oftentimes we think that political power is going to advance the kingdom of God, but oftentimes political power upsets our faith in Jesus, and we begin to put our faith, if we could just get the right person elected, the kingdom of God is advancing. The kingdom of God is subversive. And so I would say relax and trust that King Jesus is ruling and reigning. Because the fear says, if the right person doesn't get in, then it's going to be awful. If this person that's not true. It's not true. Jesus is king. And so pray that people would have wisdom and courage and do the right thing. Pray for justice. But let's put our hope not in our political leaders.
That's so good. I refuse. I will try my best to not be defined by my political affiliation. That's just not. The means to that end is not a good one. So,
well, and the other thing is, if we are, and we're not as a church at all, but if any Christian is defined or really like puts their political ideology to the front, then they are putting a non-spiritual offense in front of half the people in the country. right? Like as Christians, we should vote, we should be engaged. But if I wave a flag for a particular political party, how is anyone who doesn't agree with me going to want to come to our church?
Yeah.
How are they going to even hear about Jesus? And so let's not be offensive like that. It is not the main thing. So
good.
Yeah,
It is not the main thing. Eric, how do I stay humble as I grow in humility? If I notice my humility is growing, is it still actually humility?
It's a good question. It's a great question. I would say I think you're onto something there, right? As soon as I start to say I'm so humble, aren't I? Like I've lost it. But also, don't despise when you see yourself growing. I mean, I know there have been times where something's happened, and I mean even recently, I've had a situation happen, and I'm like, 6 months ago when that happened, I didn't respond nearly as well. God, and then the question is, what comes next? God, thank you for what you're doing. Is walking in humility. Man, I'm really doing awesome. Is walking in self-righteousness or pride. And so we all fall in and out of that. So don't be so hard on yourself that you can't ever acknowledge what God is doing in you.
Good.
And pride is knocking at all of our doors. So we gotta try to sit down, stay humble.
Stay humble. Love that. Stay humble.
Be
you know
humble.
What? Be humble.
Sit down, be humble.
Sit down.
Be humble.
Be humble. In the name of,
And in the name of Kendrick Lamar.
That's right.
Who said, sit down, be humble.
Listen, let me make
Discount
sure.
double check?
Yeah. I know there was some really serious and just pertinent, important questions that happened at the beginning of the service today. And I just want to say, for those who may have seen that or you may view that via playback, there's nothing wrong than matching PJs. There's nothing wrong with it. There's not. I don't want you to feel shamed by anyone in particular. There's nothing wrong with matching PJs. Now, all that being said,
there's nothing that right with it either. There's nothing wrong with matching PJs. There is nothing wrong with matching PJs. And if you're matching a child, it's fine.
Oh man, okay.
But I just don't think there's that much right with it either. It's fine. It's fine.
Thank you for joining us on the flip side.
Thank you, Hot Cocoa.
We will see y'all. You know what? Take care. We'll catch you next week on the flip side.